Welcome back. This Wednesday morning you're watching News Breakfast. Leading the news this morning, firefighters are battling several bushfire emergencies in central Tasmania, with at least one property destroyed so far. The communities of Barrentyre, Todd's Corner, Penstock Lagoon, Maina, Shannon and Lyawini are being warned that fires will threaten homes. A homestead in the state's Central Plateau was gutted in the fires yesterday, but the owners were putting out a spot fire away from the building and happily escaped injury.
More than 10,000 hectares have been burned, and firefighters are hoping today's milder conditions will help them get the upper hand ahead of more hot weather on Friday. Reporter Lucy McDonald joins us now from Hobart. Lucy, this situation seems to be deteriorating by the hour.
It does. I mean, today, obviously, as you said, is much better. We've not only got cooler temperatures, but we've got lower winds, which is very important because last night temperatures did cool down, but firefighters were actually struggling against some really strong winds still. The visitor centre at Tahoon was actually threatened late last night, but they sent in more reinforcements and they're able to contain that line. Obviously, today is just providing a little bit of relief, though. Tomorrow will be worse. We do have a total fire ban across the entire state from Thursday through to Sunday. It's quite rare to see them anticipate a fire ban for that long. And then Friday is when it really kicks up. They think Friday could be the worst day for the entire fire season. It's also quite interesting seeing this because our fire season is generally February, and obviously this is all happening in January, so it's quite worrying. Obviously, the bushfire has burnt through more than 10,000 hectares now, and a lot of people are worried about, their homes, their shacks, their livestock. So yeah, they'll just have to keep on alert.
Lucy, it was interesting. I was reading some comments from people who lived through the 1967 blazes in Tasmania, which were the worst ever, and claimed dozens of lives and left thousands of people homeless. And people who lived through those fires have said that they're seeing the comparisons in the lead up to Friday, that they are just as worried. So it certainly gives you an indication of the stress that the authorities must be feeling. What are they saying to people today?
From even the beginning of the week, they've been saying it's likely containment lines won't hold on Friday, which is not a particularly reassuring message. Obviously, telling everyone to constantly monitor TFS and ABC local radio. So many places are at watch and act. As we've said earlier, we have 6 at emergency, and there are quite a few at advice. You saw last week we had about 70 alerts on, and they've also, Parks and Wildlife Service have asked people this long weekend not to travel to remote areas to camp, which is obviously quite disappointing. But yeah, essentially Friday, the Bureau of Meteorology said the temperatures are going to be so high. We're looking at mid to late 30s, and they've actually said to me this morning that they may even reissue those temperatures later this afternoon to show that they'll be even higher, and they will have very strong winds. So we've got as much help as possible. Obviously, we have teams from New South Wales, Canberra. We had some from New Zealand come yesterday. We've got more today. We've had a huge sort of water bomber come in from New South Wales. But the message it's not particularly hopeful at the moment. So it's really keep alert, be prepared to put your fire survival plan into action.
Lucy McDonald in Hobart, thank you very much.
And it's also expected to be a very difficult day ahead for firefighters in South Australia, with heatwave conditions returning today there. Adelaide could in fact record its hottest ever day tomorrow, with temperatures in the mid-40s predicted. The record currently stands at 46.1 degrees, and that was back in 1939. The heat will continue to move into the southeastern South Australia over the rest of the week, bringing dangerous fire weather. A watch and act warning has been issued for a fire burning in Victoria's east near Timburra, which is north of the popular holiday spot Lakes Entrance. It's believed lightning sparked that blaze.